trying to charge up. I've got to say, I'm disappointed with battery life. I feel like I've been going for like half an hour. Don't even think it's been that. I don't think it's been that. And the battery is like on 30% or something on the, pardon me, on the fancy new action cam. Oh, here's a narrow bit. So that's not a good omen, because the phone would basically last hours. But I've got a little charger power pack thing which I use for this very purpose. There we go, and it's currently plugged in to the action cam, so hopefully that'll revive it a little bit. But it's a bit rubbish, isn't it? I've heard things like an hour and 20. Some people claim up to 3 hours. So maybe it's the settings, I don't know. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. That wouldn't be a surprise. We shall see. Initially though, disappointed. I've got a spare battery. I've even got a spare battery. Because I committed to this thing, you know, this action cam idea. I really decided to commit to it. Because apparently you get great footage from them. I think they juice up the colours of everything. I've noticed, right, on this little action cam, the colours seem far more vivid. Like the greens are rich greens than they are on the phone. And I feel like the phone is more accurate most of the time. Anyway, most of the time, always like a Bond villain. So, a super villain thing, mostly. Sure, anyway, so it's not even that, is it? But, what was I even talking about? What was I even talking about? Oh, the colours. Yeah, the colours on the phone are probably more true to life. But I sort of like the action cam colours. They're nicer. They jazz up the footage. It's obviously some sort of software enhancement of it. But it looks nice. Yeah. I've seen some vloggers who really use like colour filters and, you know, so the sky almost looks like purple on some of them. And it's a nice effect. It is a nice effect to see. You know, they're trying to portray a mood for their day, for their activity, whatever it was. And just making sure, I'm gesticulating and making sure there's nobody behind. But I want it really, I want it to be sort of just true, you know, to real life, the way it looked. Honestly, the vlogging equipment, right, has just taken on a life of its own. I've even got, on my shirt collar here, I've even got a recording device that will record for about 6 or 7 hours, because I've found several times, unfortunately, in the last few months, the audio's gone wrong. Some aspect of the audio has gone wrong, and I've lost it, you know. I mean, I've lost it, but yeah, not lost it like that. I've lost the, you know, I've had to sort of ditch the footage because there's no sound on it. So anyway, you know. So now, I'm just admiring these hills at the side, by the way. Again, it's got a very Pennine sort of a feel to it. The trees are grey. Now, almost all the leaves have been stripped off now. So now we're into that sort of, where they look almost dead, the trees. It's a very evocative colour and scene, but it is very, it has got a A lot of grey in it, greyish browns, and even the greens on a grey day like today. Even the greens are dulled down. But you know, it's got its own character. It's got its own character. So that's not, you know, I don't want to sort of say it's awful, it's grim. I was thinking that this morning. I was sort of thinking. I looked out. I thought, I've got a cruise. I'm going to be on the stern all day, and it just looked unendingly grey. The way I think sometimes only a northern, you know, hill town can look on a really grey day in winter. Just unending grey. Everything seems grey. Okay, I think you get the idea. I think you've got where I'm coming from with the grey. That's probably enough grey. But let's look on this side. And we have some. I think. Well, I don't know. I'll find out and put in what that is. I think it might be a storage facility. I think it might be, but I don't know. I saw one somewhere near Macclesfield when I was looking at Google Maps. No, it's too big, isn't it? It wouldn't be this big. This is huge. It's a very large industrial concern of some sort. It will soon end, and we'll be out in open countryside, I think. This camera, this action camera, it's even voice controlled. I just think that is amazing. Oh, hello. Got a bit of a problem. It's decided to go vertical on me. I've done something to make it think that's what I want. It most certainly is not. I've got to use a manual for the thing that explains what changes it into these modes. There's a lot of sort of TikTokers and YouTube short creators use vertical mode on their cameras. I think you have to, actually. I think it's required for a YouTube short video. But oh no, don't, no. I think we're good. Just, yeah. A little bit worrying that I've hit 2 or 3. I mean, even lately, I didn't quite hit that one, but it was very close. Right, I've got to sort this out now. Why would you not? Okay, so I'm going to try and force it. Right, okay. Stop recording. Start recording. Oh, you didn't stop. Oh. Are you? Yes, recording the deck, isn't it? The roof, sorry, of the cabin. So I'm just trying to get an idea of what is in the picture. because I quite like having the roof in there. Gives you a feeling, you know, you're being on a boat. In case you hadn't realised. There we go. Right. Here's the first person in about 10 minutes. I'm gonna up the revs here. I'm going to tick over. Morning. I'm going to tick over. Right, sorry. So where am I going? So and where, more importantly, right, where am I at? Let's check this out. Right. Charging wise, we're at 42%. Which is fine. I think we've been going about 40 minutes. So let's see on the map where we're at. It's better. Morning. Sorry, yeah, where mind went blank. Where are we at? Right. I'm on the approach to Bollington. Right, the Chandlers are still 4.5 miles away, and that's as the crow flies. So it's a while, and that's going to be our first stop as well, barring potential toilet breaks. I feel like I need to be more explicit about this business, not like detail. Obviously, we're not talking about procedures and things, but I wonder if some viewers might be getting confused by the phrase comfort break, thinking perhaps that I sort of go in and have a lay down on a chaise lounge, if that's the right pronunciation. You know, get a smoking jacket on and lay on a chaise lounge for an hour. Is that a comfort break? You know, obviously it's not. So I can see now what the object was, the orange object, and it's a sinking boat. Right. So let's turn this around so you also see the sinking boat, whilst not hitting anything. So yeah, we're in open countryside now, and again I'm seeing hills off to the low hills off to the right. There's a big farm here. I was going to say huge. I've no idea if it's huge. I am prone to this sort of wild, hyperbolic, whatever the word is, you know, exaggeration. Actually, that's what it is. Also known as being a drama queen. So. Yeah, it's just a farm. But right, the one fly in the ointment. We're back to flies and ointments here. But the one fly in the ointment, which we've got today potentially, is the boat on the pontoons there. Really nice boat, actually. Anyway, it was nice. Point being, he was moored on the pontoons, and before I took off, he took off in the same direction. Now this means he will get to the water point before me, and he may be there for an hour. So, and it's a fair bet. It's usually a fair bet that people going past the water point will stop. And there were a couple as well. I think I saw 2 people getting off that boat, I think. So so they'll use more water. So the odds are he'll be stopping for water, and so there's no point in my rushing, because there's a decent chance. I'm just watching the bridge hole here, by the way, guys. That's why I'm a little bit cautious. There's no point in my rushing, because there's a better than 50% chance that that boat will have stopped at the water point. And sometimes at the water points there's only one place, so sometimes that means you standing on the bank holding onto your boat with a rope, because there's nowhere to tie it sometimes. So I'm not going to rush. There's also water in Marple, which is my final destination. But I'm down to I'm down to about 6 bags of coal. Now that's actually enough for at least 2.5 weeks. And there's a fuel boat knocking about here somewhere. But I'd rather top up. It's just one of those situations, you never know. You know, touch wood, you could have an engine breakdown, you could have a problem, that you could have a sudden freeze. Don't think we are, but you know, and you might be marooned or stuck and need the coal. So I always just play safe and try to have 10 bags on the roof. And I'm seeing some moorings up ahead as well. I'm seeing some moorings and some boats. So we'll see what that's all about. But again, with the trees now being out of the way, the view has opened up on the right. I'm going slower than I need to again. So I'm going politely slow, I feel. Past this couple of moored boats. It's not Armco, but you can get a mooring chain around it. Sort of old style Armco. So anyway, you know, my sort of hope here is today anyway, and for tomorrow, that I'm going to be able to find a mooring in Marple. That's my sincere hope. Because where the canal runs through Marple, it's kind of on the edge of the town, I feel. And there's not millions of moorings. So, yeah, there's not millions of moorings in Marple. It looks like you could maybe get 10 boats in and around the town. And I think like it's going to be quite a popular place. So, I always am pessimistic. I've got to be honest, I'm always pessimistic, it seems. Every time I talk about will I get a mooring in X place, I'm never optimistic about it. Really, very rarely. So I can only hope that my my pessimism is confounded. Because it will just be an absolute nuisance. This is some kind of boat yard. with ancillary moorings attached to it. Kerridge Dry Dock. So oh shit, there's a low boat. Blimey, that nearly caught me out. Nearly got me. I'll show you in a minute. There's a rowboat down in the water there, and I was so busy looking at the hills on the other side that because it's on a bend I didn't see it. Anyway, you know you've heard all the old excuses, but I didn't notice it, and it was only I happened to glance thankfully across. Bit of a precarious, makes me sort of, I don't know, it makes me realise how, like, I know I'm kind of a plonker really in the observational sense, you know. I might as well be honest about it. All the viewers are like, yeah, and your point is what? Well, my point is that you've got to be careful where you're moor a rowboat, a small rowboat, because they are hidden behind these high structures. They're very low down, and that was dark blue as well. So they're just not easy to see. So I always like to keep a sort of account of how many hellos and things I get, and I'm feeling like in this place I'm not getting quite as many as I normally do. So this must be Bollington. Let me just check the map. Yeah, this is Bollington. So this is like a couple of miles north. I've done a couple of miles, as you would expect really. I've been going for about an hour. And a couple of miles north of Macclesfield. It's the first built up area that you, and I say built up, it's kind of a large village looking at it on the map. But it's got several pubs though, I will say that. It looks well endowed with pubs and eateries and things. Not so much with shops. I think it's just got a co-op shop-wise. Now this large building up ahead on the left. This is bigger than I thought. I thought we were in some little rural town. Not so. Hiya. I do feel like the boat is struggling. There's some lovely houses on the right hand side. Here there's a large mill building which we'll see shortly. I'm in Tickover, but I don't know. Anyway, this is Bollington Wharf. Now this says Chandlery. There's nowhere to stop. I think the fuel boat's based here. Some of the ones down by Braunston I squeezed through are ridiculous. This isn't too bad. But yeah, Bollington Wharf, and I've got nowhere I can stop to buy coal. I don't know what it's not industrial premises, it could be educational, I don't know. It's a commercial premises. Here's Bollington. This was Bollington. And the cafe boat was based. Yeah, I had no idea. They based themselves upon, they were on the Macclesfield. I just did not know. Just they come across, honestly, on their videos as just the most good-natured, intelligent. I saw some people. I don't know if anyone waved back. I don't know what was going on. There were some people on the boat behind me, but anyway, I can get going now. That was a real shame. Bollington Wharf was free and I could have loaded up with coal, minimal fuss, gotten the whole thing out of the way and had a comfort break, which thanks to this is becoming an issue. It is nice though. That's a decent. It's a solid. I would say it's a solid 7.5. Not outstanding. There's something not quite right because it's going slightly lukewarm now because I've had the thing open. Can't quite put my finger on what it is, but it feels like it's not. Yeah. Quite there, but acceptable, definitely. No, better than acceptable. Right, okay, enough. Another boat moored on the right hand side, so let's knock off the revs. I'm behaving. Publishing videos wise, this is the 18th of December and I'm so far behind with trying to edit the videos that I'm just publishing videos from May, literally 6 months ago when I was on the Bridgewater, and in one respect those were dark days because it seemed like nobody had sort of the good manners to slow down, and it was sad. Morning. Yeah, I felt like nobody had the good manners to slow down, and it got to me, to be honest. I've got to say, I came off that canal on my final day just thinking I'm not slowing down for anyone. I got so disillusioned with the whole idea of good manners when passing boats and stuff. I just couldn't be doing with it. But it's sobering to think that was like 6 months ago, and I'm still working on those videos. Like I've got to get my finger out. But here, we're still going through Bollington, and actually I think now I can get some revs on. We're still going through Bollington. It's a sizable little town. I don't know where I got this impression that it was some little sort of northern, town, large large village, I described it as. This is a town. It's not a huge town, but it's definitely a town. And there can't be just a co-op here to serve all these people. That is not possible. There's got to be something I've missed. But I did have a look, because I considered stopping here. Yeah, I did have a look at Bollington, a good look on Google Maps to see what there was. Where would I get shopping, how far it was from the canal, blah blah blah. And it just didn't look like there was many options. So, go figure. But now we've got houses on both sides of the canal. So Bollington's still going on. My feet are getting a little bit on the cold side as well. The temperature was due to go down. As I say, we've had this very temperate few days of 9 and 10 degrees, where I was able to just walk around in an anorak with a woolen shirt, and I couldn't have done that last winter. You know, just I would not have survived. Yeah, I wouldn't have survived. So it appears to be like almost like a cutting. No, it's not. But the houses on this side are raised. So hillside perhaps. Houses on this side are raised above. They're a good 30 feet above me, up a steep bank. And on this side, they're above me by about 6 feet. So yeah, I guess it's a sort of a cutting that we're in. Doesn't feel like a deep canal either. I mean, the fuel boat goes all the way up and down, and those things have a deep draft. So it can't be an unusually shallow canal. But there have definitely been stretches, most of the days I've cruised, and certainly a little bit further back, there have been stretches where it felt like every couple of 100 yards something would grind against the bottom of the boat, or rattle, or there'd be a noise. And it's not a place where there's going to be lots of rubbish. Maybe it could be branches that have blown in. You know, people aren't just... This isn't like near to a city where people will randomly throw junk into the canal. That's not happening here. You know, it's a mixed bag in terms of how welcoming they are and how garrulous. That took some doing, didn't it? How garrulous they are, how voluble they are in response to me, anyway. It's been a mixed bag, but you know, it's a well-behaved town. I feel. Anyway, it was, because now we're coming out of it. Don't look.
Yeah, you've got loads of really tight ones down there.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Are you on about yourself, yeah?
Huh?
Are you on about yourself? No.
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 It's really interesting though. I've got loads of photographs of them. Enjoy.
Yeah, pardon me being brief. Take care. What the hell were all that about? Well, really nice woman actually. So, to my left here, we've got a little row of cottages running alongside, and to the right, some like new build. Cottages, and I think we're going to go over an aqueduct here. Morning. Well, this is all very northern. It really is. This feels very northern indeed. Let me see if the action cam's working, because this is tremendous. It's got to be an aqueduct. We're going over a road far below 100 feet, maybe more. There's the northern edge, I think, of Bollington on that side. And some boats on the left. Morning. Right, okay. So look down there. This feels really northern now. That boat there that was the boat flying crest into the Boff this morning ahead of me, and they've pulled up already, which is a surprise. I thought they'd go a bit further. But look at that, look. Another of those mills with a massive chimney. Most of the moorings are taken. Well, this is a hell of a thing. Over on the left hand side, there's another valley down there. As soon as I've hit this place, and I'll check it out on a map, as soon as I hit this place I started thinking this just looks the way you expect them to look. When you hit the north. To a first timer, this is an extraordinary sight. First for me. I'm gonna have to get some gloves on as well. It's starting to get cold. I'm not going up in elevation, I've not done any locks, but it just feels colder. Now it did say as the day went on it was going to get colder. The warm snap, so to speak, of 10 degrees, that's all over, but it's still only going to go down to sort of 5 or 6 overnight, you know, which is quite temperate for mid-December. Like luxury. That's luxury, that is, for a northerner. 6 degrees overnight, you big Jesse. So anyway, sorry. I'm not really a northerner, obviously. I'm an absolute wimp. I'm not a legit paid up northerner. And strictly speaking, geographically, most of the northerners aren't. You know, you're not really a northerner for me until you get up level with the Lake District and that kind of area. I feel like Liverpool, Manchester, Birmingham, that's all the middle. Like people get called northern from Doncaster, possibly because because of the accent, I don't know, but to me it's all a lie. They're not northern. Anyone from Doncaster, that's not, I don't mean to offend. I'm just geographically you're not. You're just not. I'm sorry guys. Geographically you're not. I feel like we finally left Bollington and now we're coming out into some proper countryside again. But what a lovely place that was. I totally underestimated it. I really, really did. I just didn't think it would be anything special, and it's really nice. And it's really northern looking as well. Sort of a posh Macclesfield, but even more northern. Oh right. Excellent. Yeah. Well, thanks for the heads up. Cheers. Guys just telling me there's a kingfisher hanging about ahead on the right. I can see boats ahead through the bridge hole, just making sure they're not moving. No, they're moored. A lot of Armco on the right here as well, so you know, worth bearing in mind. To the north, just to the north, on the northern outskirts of Bollington, there's a big long stretch of Armco here. It's a wide section of canal. It's open aspect as well, which I love. So loads of solar. So you know, absolutely cracking place to stop for me. The aqueduct is lovely. That aqueduct where all the boats are moored, that would be your first choice, just because it's so picturesque and so striking, that view as you go over it. But this is a great little spot. So let's just cut the revs a little bit. I can't cut them too much because I need some steerage going through this bridge hole, and if I cut the revs I'll just be drifting around. You get a little bit when you're just drifting forwards, but not much. The boat will still turn, but just a fraction of how efficiently it turns under power. A kind of magic. There's a boat here, a kind of magic. I bet you that's like a travelling magician. It's got to be, hasn't it? Unless it's one of the musicians from ELO. That's not a serious theory. Yeah, so I'm getting cold feet here. As the day's getting a bit colder. Just steering off this bank. I'm dangerously close. My steering's not been great today, gotta say that. I've skirted with so many of these where I've just bumped it. Disappointing. Morning. Hiya. I'm struggling with speed a little bit here, because every time I pass a boat and I'm slowing down all the time, I'm seeing another one a few hundred yards further on, and it's getting to be a bit of a pain. But I can't go past them at full speed. I just can't do it. This is bringing me back, being here and seeing this. It's bringing me back to sort of a reminder really of why I do this. I mean, look at that view. Morning. Now my problem is, right, I'm kind of never going to get to that trading post if well, I am. What time is it? That's 12:01. I feel like I'm going to have to get a bit of a move on. I don't really want to do it, but my only adjective for this area seems to be northern. It's all very northern. Right. I'm going to have to do something to warm up, you know. Like, I'm going to need the anorak. I didn't think I was going to need it, but I think I'm going to. Because it's getting proper chilly. I feel like a wimp saying that. So well, yeah, I was about to sort of say before I distracted myself looking around the scenery and passing through this for the first time. You know, I've not done this section, not done this canal, and it's an area I haven't visited an awful lot either over the years. Just haven't tended. I've driven through it and maybe popped in for an hour or two, you know, down the years, but never really spent any time in and around Macclesfield or Congleton. But so it's new. Sorry, so it's it's new terrain to me, and this is why I do it. Really, I could do with it being a little bit warmer, but then if it was a little bit warmer, every other bugger would be out on their boat. So this is like the payoff. I do need my heated insoles though. I'm going to grab those. I think I'm going to make a comfort brake stop soon and grab some warmer gear, because it's getting a bit naughty. What are you doing? Yeah, it's getting a bit parky actually. I'm a wimp, that's my problem. I can't be doing with it. Yeah. I think it's the staying still bit. I know I've said this like probably a dozen times. It's the standing still that chills you. Walking along a towpath, doing a bit of a walk, you know, you'd be fine with just a fleece on, I suspect. There's more Armco here, so this is very encouraging. From a mooring point of view, it's great to see there's plenty of Armco knocking about here. Hopefully there'll be plenty further on as well. We'll wait and see.